Once again, here's this is the cockpit of our H-155. It's what's called a glass cockpit. If you notice the screens that are illuminated, that gives the pilot great advantage with the technology provided. We have a moving map display that shows exactly where we are at all times. We have our flight instruments that show us what the aircraft attitude, also airspeed, altitude, which is also based upon both barometric and ground level. We also have what's called TCAS, which is a terrain avoidance program software, that if we get too close to the ground, it'll actually alert us to it. One of the major sources of accidents in air EMS is people literally flying into the ground. So that the TCAS is a system that is a great tool to avoid that. Also has a system that alerts us to the location of other aircraft, what direction they're traveling, and what speed. So we can, we along with ATC can avoid, obviously in-flight collisions with other aircraft.
So this one, what does it have that some of the older helicopters do not have? Equipment-wise and system-wise, our helicopters are all equipped the same. It's in the presentation of how you obtain that information, where the glass cockpit presents more information more readily available to the pilot, which makes the pilot more efficient. Could you kind of, how many pilots fly? Are there always two people in the cockpit?
No, we fly a single pilot, and in order to do that, we have to have a highly capable autopilot. In order for the FAA to authorize us to fly single pilot, we have to have that autopilot. So we have a very sophisticated and capable autopilot. We do have the ability to put another pilot in there, dual controls and so forth. But personnel-wise, we fly single pilot with certainly a flight nurse and a flight paramedic in the back. We do have a program which is called Flight Deck Observer, where our medical personnel, when there's no patient aboard, and let's say we're en route to a hospital to pick a patient up, they can occupy the co-pilot seat, and they do some things like transmit on the medical radio. They obviously scan for traffic and obstacles and so forth, and they've been trained to do that.
Could you maybe go around the other side and kind of show us what each screen, how you control the aircraft, and what some of the screens are for?
The pilot operating the aircraft will be in the right seat, but I'll demonstrate the same displays are over here on the left seat as well. Here's our attitude indicator, which shows us the actual attitude of the aircraft, whether it's pitched down, pitched up, rolling left, rolling right. We have a compass display here that certainly tells us what direction we're heading, and it also incorporates a navigation line that allows us to couple our GPS global positioning system to that, and so we can activate or put in the latitude, longitude of where we're trying to go, and that's how we navigate in that particular instance. Let's say to a scene call, what have you. Up here is a moving map display, which will once the aircraft is running, will show us where the aircraft is. It'll show our course line, where we're headed. Also gives us all kinds of information so far as the height of the terrain, obstacles that are en route, and so forth. Over here is our caution advisory display, which shows us anything that may not be functioning exactly properly. In this particular instance, the aircraft's not running, so there's a whole bunch of things listed there. But under normal situations, that screen would be completely blank. But if something were to go amiss, it'll pop up right here. And also we have a warning advisory panel up here, which will illuminate. The other displays over here are our engine, or basically our systems displays. They monitor the engines, the transmissions, the hydraulic systems, every important component of the helicopter. And then over here, that gives us what's called our first limit display. In other words, when we're reaching a limit on the aircraft, so far as power application is concerned, it'll tell us what that is and what the limit we're approaching. So it's once again very, very user friendly. The other display over here up in the corner there is what's called a TCAS display, which displays other other aircraft targets that are in the area.
That would be this one?
Yes.
It's kind of like a radar?
Not a radar. Other aircraft have what's called transponders on them, and it'll show the position via that radio, by that transponder. That's it.
And what is here in the middle?
In the middle here we have our bank of radios and navigation gear. We have dual GPSs, we have dual comm radios, we have navigation radios. This is our fuel management panel. This is how we manage and sync up our compasses. And of course here's our transponder where we put our unique code in so ATC knows who we are.
Mm-hmm. And do the other helicopters have a glass cockpit or not?
They have, I would call it a partial glass cockpit. In other words, these systems displays here are actually on analog gauges in the center, so they monitor the same things. They just have a different presentation of obtaining that information.
And what are all of these controls up here?
All those are, we have our throttles, we have our lights for outside the aircraft, the anti-collision lights, the position lights, our environmental control units for heating and air conditioning of the entire helicopter. We have some fire detection systems that are also up in the overhead panel.
And this is what controls the plane, though? Or the helicopter, rather?
Yeah, it's controlled by a cyclic. That's what the center stick is. This lever here, right here, is called the collective. And of course you have the foot pedals as well.
So how many miles per gallon does it get?
Normally, normal consumption is about 100 gallons of jet fuel an hour.
And how much does a gallon cost, jet fuel?
Quite honestly, I don't know. I do know that EMS operations get a reduced rate on jet fuel, but I'm not, right now I don't know what that price is.
Mm-hmm. Thank you very much.
Thank you.